Leon, good to see you again.
Same here.
We're gonna play some DevOps scenario here. So as usual, I guess I'll go with yellow and you'll go with orange.
I think that's a good idea. Yes.
Awesome. So we're gonna go maybe a little bit quicker since this is gonna be attached to that blog post on DevOps.
Sure.
But any thoughts about the industry and how it has evolved would be great. I guess I'm just gonna quickly describe the board. So on a vertical, this is the perceived value of the DevOps solution. So the way I was kind of trying to represent is those little pockets or things that are moving across the screen. So you can think of them as pockets of information or clusters of information. And obviously, the higher the perceived value, the three notches solutions, they can send out more of these beats, more of these things out. Then on the horizontal axis, this is the scope, how complex the solution is, and visually, it's that circle. Kind of on the left, you get the siloed type of DevOps like point solutions, and at the other extreme, you get the kind of fully integrated end-to-end solution. So these are the environments, the type of products. I have 9, Leon has 9. We're gonna start by launching one in each of those environments and then kind of operate them and see who's making the highest returns out of this entire endeavor. Sounds good, Leon?
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
Okay, why don't you go first?
Awesome. So you know what? Let me adjust this to, I think it was 55, right? Or was it 45?
Yes. So 45 is total. So basically, what we're 55. So basically, what we are doing when you launch a product in each environment, the investment cost is indicated at the corners of the environment. So basically, to speed up the game, we're kind of deducting the sum of all these investment costs, and that way we can just launch freely. We're obviously kind of rushing here, but usually it's good to think about how you position. Yes, because otherwise, like once you put them here, there's not much you can do. I mean, it's gonna take time to reposition them because you can only move one square in any direction.
So how about the scattershot strategy? I mean, as a startup, you just try a bunch of things and see what sticks.
Yes. Well, that works sometimes. I think it works if you have the luxury of time. Like if you have time and resources to kind of wait to try those things out. Okay, let's see. So did you hear, I'm guessing you watched, right? GitLab went public. GitLab is one of the most important players, and that was pretty cool. They've only been around for what, 5-6 years?
They've been around for some time. I forgot when they actually launched. And by the way, I think it's your turn to move. They obviously have a Dutch CEO, Sitsi Brandy, which is, especially being a Dutchman myself, is obviously interesting.
Yes.
In all fairness, I do think that the founders, he created it with two, I think, Ukrainian folks. I'd have to check what their nationality was, but they created an amazing company, and they've done something that I honestly didn't think was going to be possible. They built a tool that actually competes in the absolute upper regions of DevOps. I mean, they've been able to amass this incredible collection of tools, incredible collection of products, and not just have them as sort of what he speaks to in and when I say he, I mean Sid, when he talks about the DevOps approach being siloed, then fragmented, then platform. Very much to their credit, they've really built a platform tool. So it really is sort of a one-stop shop to large parts of your DevOps process.
Yeah. So you think probably other players now, I mean, everybody's going to try to get to this stage of platform, right? To this kind of end-to-end integration, and then try to continuously to continue to improve that, or you think some will try to collaborate or stick with some point solutions that will just work nicely with the GitLab platform? What are your thoughts there?
It's going to depend. I mean, what we've seen in our industry, not just in DevOps, but like in all parts of the software industry, is that it is sort of like a pendulum. I mean, at one point, people are like, yeah, we need all point solutions and we'll connect everything together. We won't want to put all of our eggs into one single basket. Let's not do one platform vendor, because you know what happens when that platform dies out.
Yeah.
And then it sort of swings all the way to the other end where everyone's like, yeah, we need one integrated platform because we don't want to be building integrations. That should be something that's being taken care of by one single platform. So it sort of swings in between. And that's what we've always seen. And you also see that the large hyperscaler, so the clouds, AWS, Azure, and obviously Google Cloud Platform as well, that they are investing a lot in their own solutions.
I see. Okay, I think it's
your
my turn, right? Yeah.
I've only one left.
Okay, you moved first. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so now, as I mentioned, yeah, we're going to start operating these businesses. You can think of each dot like a product and a set of customers. So your turn, Leon.
So I'm going to move this one down, which makes me 9. Well, it gets me to 64, but it makes me $9
yes.
million. By the way, what are those? Is it like $1? Is it $1 million?
It's millions, but for simplicity, I'm just using the single digits, because otherwise, basically, to stay consistent with what's on the board, imagine if you have to put 3 million or so. It's kind of a convention. It's for easy play, it's single digits, but I think when you're thinking about the business case and industry or whatever, it's good to think about high numbers, because obviously we're talking about millions and billions of dollars at the end of the day. So yeah, every move, and by the way, the move could happen over a period of, let's say, a few years, 3 years or 5 years, like what you just did right now. It's kind of the equivalent of several years to kind of operate that business and extract that profit from it. So now I'm thinking about whether I should take you out, which I think I might just do with the lateral move. So I'm gonna, and this is gonna cost me. There's a cost associated, so it's 9. So this is gonna bring me down to 46. So what's kind of currently a high priority, like in the DevOps industry? What's happening right now? I know security has been a big thing over the past few years, right?
Absolutely. I mean, and I think that for a very long time to come, security is going to stay incredibly important. as and I know that this is in your blog post too, but as a lot of people, a lot of companies are focusing on software. Every company is becoming a software company, as Satya Nadella said. Obviously, software is eating the world, as Mark Andreessen said. I think that software for us as an industry, as mankind even, is going to be incredibly important. And as it becomes more important, and as everything digitalizes, we need to make sure that that everything is secure. And security is everyone's business, so it literally starts at the developer.
Yeah.
And there are so many. Actually, let me move. Otherwise, I'm going to be talking forever.
Yeah.
So I'm at 72 if my math doesn't.
Oh man, that might be a mistake. Now you're gonna let me do this alignment. Do you want to move back quickly? So I'm gonna do this, and you're not gonna catch up with me. So I would keep that there.
Yeah, I didn't move. I didn't move.
Yes.
I'm not exactly sure what you were talking about, but I did not move.
Yeah, you didn't move that, at least. Yeah.
Not at all. I'm going to move this one down. So unless my math is like really abandoning me, that gets me to 66.
Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take you out here in center. So this is going to cost me another 5. So this brings me down to 41. And in terms of other major things, like let's say orchestration, that's also an important type of functionality, right? That it's, I think, emerging, or not emerging, but that's becoming more kind of ubiquitous, right? Because people are using not just platforms, but third-party solutions, right? You want to get that that type of visibility and option to manage things.
True, absolutely. I mean, this is very much to what the CD and CI/CD was, or continuous integration and continuous delivery. As you use more things, more software, you need to make sure that everything works nicely with each other. And that can be because everything is in a single platform. It can be because you have a platform and a few point solutions, or all point solutions, that you're essentially making work together. They have to play nice. So you need something that ties everything together, because what's the use of having all those tools if you still manually need to go do all these things? And you see that there are a bunch of great tools out there, like Argo, which is a great workflow engine. But you also increasingly see that the more traditional CI platforms, like Jenkins, or things along those lines, are starting to add that type of capability as well. I mean, if you look at something like GitHub, for example, then GitHub Actions is definitely something that collaborates with a bunch of tools inside of the GitHub platform, but together with, obviously, with Azure pipelines, and can extend itself like beyond that. I mean, if I write my blog, then what I do is I upload it to GitHub, because that's where my source code is. Then I do a bunch of things in GitHub using GitHub Actions, and it ultimately triggers something over on Netlify, where everything is hosted. So that's sort of that that collaboration between tools, that orchestration that you were talking about. So that's very important.
Okay, your turn, right? I think.
Yeah, sorry. As I said, I can keep on talking forever.
I know. And by the way, this is, I'm sure the people watching this will probably figure out, because we're trying to speed it up as much as possible, but also showcasing this nice aspect of the game, that you can kind of have these conversations. So obviously, if you take your time, it could be like, an hour, and just get into all kinds of business related or technology related conversations. But I'm sure nobody wants to watch that afterwards. Or maybe, I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah. Where did you move? To see, I was talking.
I'm not telling you.
Okay.
No, I moved in quadrant 7.
Okay. Yeah. See, that's the thing. When the problem with talking, you're talking and you forget. You need to. Okay. So here's what I'm gonna do. So when I'm moving down here from the 9 environment to 8, so I'm making 9. This brings me back to 50. Okay, your turn.
So I'm going to take out this piece over here,
Okay.
which costs me 8. So that gets me back to 65.
Okay, so I'm moving down from 6. And now I'm making alignment. Alignment, it's a synergy, basically. I'm synergizing. So I'm getting 6 from the move, and then I'm getting bonus for each product in that alignment. So I have 5 plus 5 plus 8, so 18 plus 6, that's 24. So I'm going up to 74.
So then I'm investing in my products or kicking you out of the market, depending on however you want to say it. But I'm basically destroying your lines over here.
Okay.
And that gets me to 57.
Okay. Okay. So since we're playing aggressively, so from 3, I'm going to take you out in 6. So that cost me 3. So it's always the originating cell. So I'm down to 71.
Now I see what you're trying to do.
Yes.
And I know it's going to really hurt me if I don't do this. I mean, it's also going to hurt me if I do, but I'm essentially taking out your 5 here.
Yeah, I know. So that's why, but that's a good point. That's why the beginning, strategizing from the very beginning, it's very important, because the nature of the game is you don't have moves that go across the table, like let's say in chess, the bishop or something. So if you're not thinking carefully about where you're placing your products, even though you see it coming, it gets to a point where it's just this kind of a slow motion thing. It's coming, but there's not much you can do. Okay, so I'm moving down, obviously, what you saw happening. So in this case, so it's 6 from the operating the business. So it's commoditizing, but I'm making a profit. So 6, and then I have bonus for each piece, 5 plus 5 plus 2. So 18. So this takes me to, is this 89? I think. Yeah. Okay, your turn.
So I'm going to be playing really aggressive. See where that gets me. Okay. So I'm going to take out this one as well.
Okay, so that's another 5.
Oh, wait, 44.
44. Okay. So
hey, so there's a briefcase with some extra millions under my desk. I just found it, so that I can add it into the game, right? I mean, that's how companies work.
Yes. Well, since you have the possibility on this prototype to adjust the score manually, maybe when I'm not looking, you can put that briefcase in there. Okay, so from 1 to 4, I'm taking you out with a lateral move. So laterals basically represent, or let me pay first, so it takes me down to 88. It's innovation, what you would call product innovation, because basically we increase the complexity of or the scope of the product in this case, right? Because we're talking about these like chains of solutions. So we have to spend money when we move laterally, because it's you're operating the business, but then there are costs with innovation. And when you're taking out a competitor, those are the additional costs that might be associated with, some sort of aggressive marketing or things like that. So that's why the lateral kill requires payment. So your turn.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move down this 7 to at least make some money again, which is kind of nice, I guess. So I'm back at 51.
Okay, let's see. So see another example. I'm moving in environment 4. I moved laterally, but because I'm not taking anybody, it's 0. As I said, it's the operating profit is being canceled out by those costs required to increase the complexity of the product itself.
So I'm moving down my 3, gets me at 54.
Okay, so I'm moving in 7, moving lateral. Like obviously you see what's happening. I'm trying to do another synergy or alignment, because like in real business, real world business, companies make money when they create these efficiencies, when they share resources, and that's when you really succeed.
So I'm gonna move. What am I gonna do? I mean, there's not a lot of things I can do here to stop you. Actually, I can move this one down. That gets me to 89.
Okay.
And that's actually the first time that I'm in front of ahead of you scoring wise.
Well, so yeah, so this thing, it's a little bit reflective of the industry itself, because the way I wrote in a blog post, because companies come towards this platform solution from different type of point solutions or from different directions. There's a little bit of unpredictability of who's going to be successful and who's not, or some companies, start by being successful and then they kind of lose stream. Okay, so I'm making an alignment, but I wanted to ask you a question. So, like, if you think back at the industry, is this a fair assessment that there are several companies that came from seemingly different directions, different point solutions, but they all kind of converge towards this kind of platform provider, or is that a fair assessment?
So first off, I thought you were going to ask, did you cheat? And the answer to that one was yes, absolutely. So let me actually adjust my points to what it should have been.
Oh, what did I do? Sorry, I put the 15. I replaced so I gotta undo, huh? Can I do that?
No. I mean, I actually added 30 to my total, so I removed those 30.
Oh, I didn't see that. Oh,
see, you were right. I should have done it while you were looking.
Yes.
So
I have 88. Let me put this 88. So 98, and then 5. So it's 103. Okay. Really, you were that low at 59?
I was that low. Yeah, I really aggressively took out your pieces.
Because you were what? You were 89 at one point, no?
No.
Oh, that's when you were cheating. And I didn't even catch that. Okay, yeah.
Darn, I should have never told you.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you should have let it there. And,
yeah, exactly. But to answer your question, yeah, you
Yeah.
do see a lot of companies that, especially in like adjacent parts of the software industry, that are like, hey, maybe we should do something more with DevOps. Just looking at like JFrog, where they acquired a company which is now essentially JFrog pipelines. If you look at GitLab, they've done a bunch of these things. If you look at Microsoft, for example, they created what is now Azure pipelines. They actually went one step further, and this week released a browser-based version of the editor that they create, VS Code, so that it's even more integrated in all the tools that they already have. Essentially, really trying to get you into that platform, and I think it's a really bold, really strong move. I'm very curious what some of the other platforms are going to do now.
Yeah. Well, but and when you say platform, because so you move down, I see that. I didn't miss this move. I'm watching the board now.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
And here I'm gonna try to see. I'm moving down in 4, so that's gonna give me a 4. 10 was 103, so 107. So the platforms, right? Like the way in the blog post, I'm defining this particular type of platform, and that's the focus of kind of the conversation, where it's integration and automation along the software development life cycle. So most platform rights will start sharing some sort of core functionality, or not sharing, but it would be very, very similar, same promise, same same benefits. So I'm wondering, do you think that eventually we're going to see some sort of consolidation in the field, where some bigger companies will acquire smaller platforms and maybe for a while offer them the two platforms parallelly, but then kind of integrating and just becoming a much bigger thing? Is that
Absolutely. I mean, if you look at what some of those larger players are doing, they're absolutely buying companies. And as a company, I mean, very much to how we're playing, you have to realize that you can do two things to grow. You can either invest your own R&D budget, and grow more organically and think about what you would create, or you could acquire a company, or in our case, take one out.
Yeah.
So it really depends on what you want to do there. And I do absolutely think that with the sheer amount of tools that we have in the DevOps space, we'll see some form of rationalization. We'll see larger players pick up smaller companies to essentially augment what they already have.
Yeah. Okay, speaking of that, so I'm going to start actually, because in this game, obviously, the goal is not to have a perpetual company, but it's kind of to prove yourself, that prove who's the better CEO, the better company manager. So the game stops.
It's going to be you in this case.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I don't know. I think my lead is so high. So, for example, I'm exiting from with one product from a position that's not at the bottom of the board. In that case, you would make a profit, but in this case, I'm paying 9, so this takes me down to 98. But still, like I said, the lead is pretty high. So, but let's see, because you can still. I'm looking at your positions, and
it's technically possible, I guess.
Yes. Okay.
So moving this one down.
Okay, 3.
Yep.
Okay, here, I'm going to take another one out. So this brings me down to 89. So my goal is, since I have this significant advantage, maybe not as much now, but my goal is to kind of stop the game, because once one of the players takes out all the pieces, the game stops. Whatever's left on the board doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is the kind of the money in the bank, so to speak. So the executive with the most cash is going to win. My move or your move?
Mine.
Okay. Making 2. Okay, I'm moving down here in 7. So just operating the business and making a profit of 7. That takes me to 96.
Okay, then I'm moving down, taking out this one, which means I make 4, I pay 4.
Yeah.
So basically nothing.
Okay, I'm moving down and making 4. This brings me to 100.
Then I'm exiting with this one. That makes me 7. So that gets me to 81.
Okay. So I'm moving down 7. This brings me to 7. 107.
I'm moving on this one. So that gets me to 84. Wait, did I have 81? Yeah, so it's 85.
Yeah. Okay, taking this out, 7, another 7 for me, so it's 114. So you can take it out, 89, or should we stop here? You don't want to see the end, the
No, I mean that's gonna be too painful, but yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think it's obvious, but I think no.
See, I should have cheated. In that case, I would have been at 119, and then I would have won.
Exactly. Well, I think the fun is just to play and having these conversations. But I think this industry, like I was saying in the blog post, it's so fascinating because you can talk about DevOps itself, but also you can think. Since we were talking about software eating the world, or every company is a software company. If you think of any kind of product as having a significant software component, then almost any company can be mapped on this exact thing. The better software you have, basically, behind that product, the better the product is going to be with the experience and all that. So it's almost like this has the scenario, a duality to it. It's not just about the DevOps tools, but it could actually, whatever's happening here translates into the quality of the company's products, right?
Absolutely true. I mean, sure, this was just a game, but literally, if you Google DevOps, or DevOps tools is probably the better one to do, then you're going to find so many different tools, so many different companies. Some of them have everything nicely integrated and sort of fit into the platform space. Some of them have a few point solutions and are not as much platform, but probably more fragmented. And you're always going to find companies that are like, you know what, we like what our engineers do. We want to give them as much freedom as possible. So we're going to go with a completely siloed approach. And I don't think there is a one size fits all answer, which actually makes our industry so interesting.
Cool. Awesome. Well, on that note, thank you, my friend, for joining me again. We
absolutely.
We still need to play. I feel like the tally of our games is a little bit unbalanced. You gotta get your game together. I'm not sure what industry I need to put here so you can beat me.
Cheesecake.
We can cheesecake. We'll do it. Awesome. Then we'll talk next time.
Absolutely. This was fun.